Of course, like, I'm a homer. I'm not going to ignore that.
What do they see in this guy? This guy sucks.
Prepare yourself for the Raptors Report podcast with your hosts, Julian and Steve.
Hello, Raptors fans, and welcome back to Raptors Report Live. I just rebranded the Raptors Report podcast, Raptors Report Live, called an Audible. We're back. It is Monday, March the 9th, and I am pumped. I am ready to talk Raptors basketball with my co-host, Steve, aka Raptor Shack. Steve, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How could you not be great? You see the weather out?
Oh, my God.
Southern Ontario. We are hopefully it's doesn't take a turn again, but the second I seen people out in shorts, I saw a guy running shirtless. That the second it gets above 0, people start to go crazy here. So in a great mood, and we're getting down the home stretch of the season. So lots of exciting things.
Felt really good was yesterday when the Raptors played at 6:00, and I was I was watching the game, and I just looked out my window, and the light was coming through the window. I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. So it feels good when the days start getting shorter, because basketball is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once the days start getting longer, that means the playoffs are coming. And, the Toronto Raptors are very locked in in their trajectory. It's almost kind of like they're like a clockwork team.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you can expect from them. And before we get to that, why don't we just break down, sort of give you guys the menu, what's on the docket for today. So we have a bunch of fun topics. First one, we're going to be looking at Pirtle's illness. He is questionable for the next game. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about how the Toronto Raptors, are they the ultimate Bumslayers in the NBA? Are they the team that can never beat good opponents, but always beats up the crappy opponents? We'll talk about that. We will get into the draft today. I've been doing some draft videos on the main YouTube channel, but we will be talking draft because, we're getting to that time of year too. There is some trouble from below. The Toronto Raptors are being chased by some very hot teams in the NBA. We'll talk about those teams. There's a couple of them too. We will get into the upcoming schedule. We'll talk about a potential addition to the team, because the Raptors still have an open roster spot. And there's a couple of theories about who could fill that roster spot, including a former number 1 overall pick. Or was he number 2? I can't remember. I think he was.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, it was number 2. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. But first, I think we got to talk about this one. The Toronto Raptors being the ultimate Bumslayers in the NBA. This is a team, you know what you're going to get night in and night out. Are they playing a team that is, in the top 10 or close to it? Tough luck. You're not going to get a win. Are they playing a team under 500 or mediocre? Hey, it's your lucky night. The Toronto Raptors are going to win. So the Toronto Raptors, thankfully, they're beating the mediocre teams too. Because if they were just beating the bad teams, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, they wouldn't be in the position they're in, right? Which is, obviously it does not bode well for the playoffs, but it's looking good for the rest of the season. If you can go chalk with what is expected, you only have another 6 or 7 more games against good teams. And so if you win the rest, you're looking at 47, 48 games, and you're well in the top 6 there, right? So being the worst good team is not the best thing for the playoffs.
I prefer the top of the mids. The Raptors are just the greatest mid team of all time. I am honestly surprised, because I thought, we went through the schedule the last time we were here. Some of us, picked the Toronto Raptors to beat certain teams. And we were both
close.
Yeah, we were both a little too optimistic. They really like to let you down.
Yeah.
Steve, I believe he picked the Raptors to beat the Spurs. I picked the Raptors to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know, we were both wrong, and they lost against both of those teams.
Yeah.
Pretty disappointing, but at the end of the day, I mean, they are like, why get your hopes up? You know it's going to happen. It's coming.
Yeah.
And with the Toronto Raptors, their next game is against the Houston Rockets. And I was also saying, like, giving some copium, some hopium on in the video that I made today, where I was talking about how the Houston Rockets are also kind of in a bit of a swoon right now. They are not doing too well.
Mm-hmm.
Alperen Şengün is catching a lot of heat from Houston Rockets fans for being a cone on defense. And I saw somebody using the what's this DJ Khaled meme? What does he do? Because someone pointed out it's like he's not an efficient scorer inside. He can't stretch the floor and he can't play defense. It's like yeah, that's kind of deserving of the DJ Khaled. But even so, forget all of that. Look at the record. They are what, 39-24 or something like that. That sounds pretty close to the top 10. I don't know if they're in the top 10, but they're probably pretty close. So you could probably expect them to defeat the Toronto Raptors. I don't know how to feel about it. I know that this is not a team that's going to win the NBA championship.
Yeah.
And we should be looking at, maybe the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which is a playoff berth. And this was a surprising season. Everybody's like, okay, well, the Raptors are going to suck this year. And they kind of beat those expectations. But at the same time, I would rather have it be that they had some unfortunate losses against like the bad teams. They've had a couple of unfortunate losses, but they've been pretty consistent at beating the bad teams. I would rather be more all over the map. I would rather them have like big statement wins against good teams and like some unfortunate losses against the bad teams than be literally like you go into the game and you're like, well, here we go again.
They tease you a little bit, right? Where they get a big lead and then they blow the big lead, or they get a fake comeback where it's like, oh, they just came back, they were down 20, whatever, right? So it's like you get convinced almost, and then that third quarter comes along, or the fourth comes along, and look, they almost pulled out that San Antonio Spurs game. De'Aaron Fox hit a ridiculous over the backboard shot, and then Brandon Ingram hit a into the backboard shot on the attempt of the game winner, right? So that would have been a huge signature win.
I think it was a game tire, but yeah, I agree
right.
But they almost completed that. Like those two games, the ones against the Thunder and against the Spurs, where they were really far ahead against the Spurs, and they were they came from way back and tied it up against the Thunder. Like those are two pretty cool games. I'm not going to lie. It's not like it's not like they laid down and died in those games. It was just like, well, what do you say at this point? Like I am having trouble making content on YouTube. That's part of like, I'll admit, I pivoted to the draft content. A, I like doing the scouting videos, but B, it's like, they don't make new stories. They just gonna keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel on that too, because it takes me a minute. Like you are much quicker at making videos. It takes me a while, so I will be like partway through a narrative of a video, and then they'll just start shitting the bed of that thing that I was about to praise them for, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put that on hold for now. And so, like, do you have any hope that so they're 4-16 against like top 10 teams, right? Do you have a little bit of hope that at least 3 of those 4 wins are against the Cavs, who might be their first round matchup?
Yeah, I think we went into this about like who would be the preferred candidate for them to play. And I think we both agreed that the Cavs, like there are some people online, like the notorious 6-man who wants the Knicks. But other than him, I think pretty much everybody is in agreement that, we should probably be hoping for the Cavs in the playoffs. But I'm not too comforted. Their team looks different.
Yeah.
And, the Toronto Raptors have lost, like, for all the crap that James Harden gets in the playoffs, the Raptors have lost to him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can hang your hat on him, like, crapping the bed.
Exactly.
So, listen, I don't know. I think I would just settle for like a competitive series.
Yeah.
Like that would be good for me. And then you could ride into the off season with your head held high. But I'm not too optimistic unless Darko really has a rabbit in his hat that he can pull out. He's been saving all of his strategies for the playoffs, but the Bumslayer title, I guess there's things that are worse than that, but it's pretty low on the totem pole in terms of where you want to be.
Look, I said after, I don't know if it was after last game. I think it maybe was after the Timberwolves lost. They said, it's like, look, we have like 8 or 9 dynasty starts after you guys, to use Draymond Green's phrasing for Dylan Brooks. The guys that you can't really see yourself winning a playoff series yet, but I still expect them to win every game for some reason. And I'm still disappointed when they don't, even though I know that there's like multiple guys who are not, it's not their window to compete. It's not the final product. They've got half these guys are under 25. I understand where the team is at. And I think the taste of success maybe has us like expecting more. A competitive series I will absolutely take. I just don't want to get absolutely swept because that's no fun to watch. Then it just feels like that's not real experience and it was a waste, right?
Yeah.
But
it's almost like you lose a second time, like you lose the 4 games, you get swept, and then people can bust out the memes where they say, oh, my team had the same number of wins as yours did in the playoffs, which is like, okay, that one is just like as old as time itself. I think they were making that joke back in the 60s. But
there's I mean, in terms of slander, there's an extra risk for like the Cavs, because it's like the whole LeBronto shit that will inevitably come along with that, right? But there's that too with the Knicks. You haven't beat the Knicks in like the last 12 games. And then like the Celtics. I hate playing the Celtics, and the Celtics just got Tatum back and he looks good. Like, you don't want to play the Celtics.
He had a rough start to that game, but then he kind of finished it off pretty well. Yeah, I mean, you want to avoid the Celtics because they're champions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's, anything's possible. They could have a really good end to the season. They could go into the playoffs hot. You have to get hot at the right time. I think that's the cliche that I'm going to run with here. That's the new copium here. But yeah, Toronto Raptors, as of right now, looking like the ultimate Bumslayers. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. But why don't we get on to, like, because there's a topic that's actually kind of germane to this, which is the teams that are underneath the Toronto Raptors that are surging and have made it close. Like there are teams that are very close to pushing Toronto out of the 5th seed. Why don't we just share the screen here? So we'll take a look. Toronto Raptors obviously in 5th seed, but there are 3 teams that have made a big surge, and they're none of the teams that I predicted because, I thought that the Philadelphia 76ers were the one team to watch, but it turns out that actually Orlando, Miami, and somehow Atlanta are teams that are like on
surging,
significant win streaks. So why don't we take first a look at Orlando, because they are the closest in terms of win percentage. And they've won 4 games in a row. And some of those have been big wins. So not Milwaukee, but they beat Minnesota in going away too. Like this was not a close game. I think that was the night after the Toronto Raptors lost to the Timberwolves. I think that this was their back-to-back. So that could make sense why they weren't as sharp. But Paolo Banchero has been kind of on a little mini heater. Yeah. He's decided to turn it on here at the end of the season, and he's been cooking. So, yeah, he had 25 points in that game. He even had more. I believe it was 33 against the Bucks. Let me just see.
Yeah, he's going to have a March. I feel like he's going to have one of them, like, it's not going to Mickey Mouse March because you're actually winning games, but he's going to have a March. Like, and that's one of the main reasons I don't jump on the Paolo slander train, is because the second you do, he'll rattle off like a couple of 25 plus games and even efficient games too. He's had some efficient games.
Those games are efficient, but they've only beaten one like quality opponent. Like as you can see, they just squeaked one out against the Mavericks, who the Raptors 30 balled. It's not like I don't see a lot of quality wins there. The only one that you can see is the Minnesota game where they were on the back-to-back. So
that's another team where you have, I think, one more game against. You got to win that game. Like if you're trying to stave off these teams, you got to get the wins against them. And I think they've lost both games to the Magic this year.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, right. So, and it's not like they were like the last game that they had, the momentum was completely in Toronto's way, and then the Magic just zoned up.
Yeah.
And the Raptors just froze. They can't beat the zone. And so like they're probably going to do the same thing to you again. That'll be a big test to see if Darko can make an adjustment. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just checking here. I went to Tankathon, which is useful not just because for teams that are tanking, but they show you remaining strength of schedule. So why don't I just share that screen here? We can take a look at that, and you can see which teams they play multiple times and who the best are. So let's take a look here at the Toronto one. So, oh my God, these stupid ads. So Toronto has the 18th hardest remaining strength of schedule. So just under 500. Almost all teams are going to be like right around 500 just because of, how it works out, because there's 19 games remaining or something. So it's not going to be too far off of that. But 18th, that's pretty good. The hardest teams that they play the Pistons twice, Celtics once, Knicks once, Rockets once, Denver Nuggets once, and the Phoenix Suns twice. Even though the Suns, like, they're rated here as one of the better teams, they've been struggling recently. They've got a lot of injuries, so I wouldn't even consider them to be like the most difficult opponents, but they are on that list. In terms of teams that they have to play after that, the bad teams, so they've got some really bad teams. So the Pelicans twice, the Kings once, Brooklyn once, Utah, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Bulls. So, yeah, I mean, they've got a pretty average strength of schedule. So who are the teams that we're looking at that are near them? So let's take a look here. Yeah, Orlando. So they have a harder schedule, just over 500. Atlanta has a slightly easier schedule, but they're further behind, so it's not that consequential. And then, like as I said, like they're all pretty close to one another. Miami is just over 500. We are listed as their hard opponents that they have to play. So the Raptors have to play, Miami 2 more times, which is that'll be a good test for them, because those are going to be some pretty consequential games, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If they stay neck and neck with the Raptors, they're going to have to win those games.
That could be like a 5-6 decider.
Yeah.
Or could be the decider that's kicking you down to the play-in, right? So those would be huge. And they're back-to-back, right? Like maybe not a back-to-back, but they're like doubleheader. That'll be a huge couple of games. I think that's in the last month, right? I think like you've got I think it's in your final 4 games.
Well, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule, but we kind of wanted to highlight those teams, specifically Miami, because Miami, I don't even think we got into Miami's like the wins that they picked up, because they've got a couple of like really impressive wins. In fact, it's not just it's not like when you look at the Magic, who were just doing the same thing. They were just slaying bums. These guys have beaten some of the top teams in the entire league. So let's just quickly go back here to the Miami Heat, and you can take a look at their recent games. So they've won 5 in a row. They beat Houston. They beat not Brooklyn, Charlotte, one of the hottest teams in the league. They were one of the first teams to be able to kind of like knock them off. And then after that, they beat the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons, just yesterday. So that is like they are rolling. They are looking really good. Bam Adebayo has suddenly burst out of his funk. He's not looking too shabby these days. In fact, Tyler Hero's back.
Tyler Hero's back. He's like 28 point per game in the last 3 games. He's he has been looking good. And yeah, like they're starting to put it together at the exact right time for them. So
well, they are a veteran team, and they are coached. They're really
very well coached.
So and they've got like, they don't have the top tier star power, but they've got good role players like Bam Adebayo. Sorry, I just had to get that one in there. But like, Pele Larson, 3-and-D guy, Davion Mitchell, we all know and love him. Myron Gardner, he was talking all sorts of smack against the Pistons, even though it looks like he did not have a very good game. But he was calling, I believe it was Tobias Harris, all sorts of names. But yeah, he didn't have a very good game. But yeah, the thing about the Pistons is that, like, I don't know how for real they are, especially in the playoffs. Like, they've got really good top end, like Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham. That's an awesome duo. But like after that, I don't know.
They often rely on Dennis Jenkins to be their secondary ball handler after Cade, who didn't even have a contract when the season started. All credit to him, but I mean, like they
even Bickerstaff has had some like chokes in the playoffs. Like he was not. That's why the Cavs gave up on him. Yeah, because he was not getting it done in the playoffs. So they might be a bit of a paper tiger.
Yeah.
Anywho, maybe that's a good time for us to jump over to the upcoming schedule, and we can take a look at some of the games that the Toronto Raptors have. While I have B-ball reference open, we can just skate over to the schedule and take a look at who the Raptors are facing. We'll give you guys our breakdown. So let's take a look how we did. So we predicted that they would lose to the Thunder. We predicted that they would beat. You predicted they beat the Spurs. We both predicted that we would beat the Wizards. We knew that they'd lose to the Knicks. I think we both got that one.
No,
right.
I said they'd beat the Knicks.
Oh, was it the Spurs or the Knicks that you
I think I said they'd go 3-2.
Yeah.
So okay. I think I said both.
So 1, 2, 3. Right.
Oh my gosh.
So the Knicks, I predicted they lose. I predicted they would win against the Timberwolves, which they did not. And of course, they beat the Dallas Mavericks. But let's take a look at the next 5 games. So they're playing the Houston Rockets tomorrow. And as I've discussed, they are in a bit of a snide right now. They are not I don't think they're on a losing streak that's that long or that significant, but they have been very up and down, especially since the All-Star break. They've lost against pretty much all of their ops. Like they lost to the Spurs really badly. They've lost to like a bunch of, I think they lost to the Lakers. I think they've lost to like a whole bunch of teams that are like in their area code. And they've lost some ground in the Western Conference. Like they were looking like the favorites or close to being the favorites in the West at the beginning of the season. Obviously, the Durant pickup gave them really, high hopes for their season. But then they were kind of like struggling with a lack of a point guard. Mm-hmm. But then Reed Shepherd came along and like he's having a really good bounce back season, especially in the second half of the season. Like he looks like he could be for real. Amen Thompson, the problem with him is that he just cannot shoot at all. Yeah. And so he's a very one-way player. Like he's very defensive, but he's not very effective on the other end just because of his lack of shooting. Jabari Smith Jr. actually has kind of popped off after being like slandered as, an arsler by Kevin Durant, who said he was low-key arsler. And I think we've already talked about how Alperen Şengün has been kind of their whipping boy. And there is a huge divide in the fan base, as you can probably imagine. Whenever there is a player who is from another country, and if that country has not so many players in the NBA, all of their hopes are riding on that one guy. And Şengün is kind of their boy.
Yeah.
So they ride hard for him.
And Turkey is built different when it comes to supporting their athletes. It's like they are extra. So like, all respect to the Turkish fans. I want no smoke. I already dealt with that at the beginning of the season when I critiqued Şengün. So, but yeah, obviously they're going to be going at each other's necks over that.
Well, I remember when Hedo Turkoglu, you're absolutely correct. When Hedo Turkoglu was on the Raptors, the message boards, like I'm sure that you're familiar with Real GM. I think it's still around, but there were threads on Hedo Turkoglu being crappy. And of course, you'd get the Turkish fans coming in to like defend his honor. Yeah. And I remember in one of the threads, because people were kind of getting sick of the fans because Hedo was like hot ass. Like he sucked. For the Toronto Raptors. And so people were just getting sick of them coming in and just like gassing him up and saying he's good. So people started like taking pictures of him at like the clubs and stuff and pointing out that he's like drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and like maybe having allegedly relationships outside of his marriage or whatever, just to get them to shut up. So yeah, they definitely have a reputation for riding hard, going hard in the paint for their countrymen. That is very funny, but I still think he's a good player. He's just having a down year, especially efficiency. He is not very efficient this season. So
and like he might give us some trouble in the game. Like he
for sure. Yeah.
He's when he gets paint touches, like you can't give him free looks at the rim. He's got really good footwork inside. His finishing is up and down, but I believe he punished them pretty decently the first time that they played. So like with Yak potentially missing the game, Colin Marie Boyles is missing the game, that might be a problem spot for the Raptors.
Yeah, Mike just pointed out in the chat here, he said, remember in the interview when he just kept saying ball? Where Jack Armstrong was interviewing him and he said, what's different for you in this game here? Like you really showed something that you didn't. Ball.
Yeah.
He goes, and that's it? That's all you're going to say? Ball. And then he walked off. That and the pizza commercial where he's sitting on like that exacerbated. If you haven't seen it, it's probably on YouTube, where like he had a reputation of just kind of being this lazy guy who like didn't want to play defense and just kind of like, you know, he looked kind of lazy. And so he had a commercial where he's just lying on a couch, just eating pizza. And like Jay Triano was on the phone, like trying to get him to do something. He's like, yes, coach. Yeah, coach. Okay, coach. And it like, I know it pissed off the fan base. So anyway, these are all memory lane things. I apologize for being an old head. So anyway, I think the Houston Rockets, that I'm going to just say that is a 65-35 game. So I give the Raptors a 35% chance of winning that game.
What they need is a big game from Scotty Barnes offensively.
Especially Pirtle's sick.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And like he has, since the All-Star break, he's averaging 15 points per game. He is like, even in games where he's been efficient, he's not shooting enough. He's not engaged enough in the offense. I know reporters asked Darko about it. He said, yeah, we're trying to make sure like that he knows that and keep him engaged and that kind of stuff. And he needs to take command of the game, and Şengün is not a good defender. So he needs to punish Şengün. And I think they can win that game if Scotty Barnes brings it. He needs to bring his A game. He's been slacking offensively, still been doing great defense. He tires himself out defensively, but if RJ doesn't have it like he did the other night, they haven't been winning games because BI has been struggling and Scotty has been struggling, right? So you can't leave it all just on RJ. You need to have the other look. So I think I'm with you. I think it's a 65-35 game, but if Barnes comes out like a house on fire and takes command of this game, I think they win.
Yeah, if Pirtle is healthy, I could see him giving Şengün problems.
Mhm.
He's big. He's much
Yeah.
taller than Şengün is, and he's a great finisher, which I think that could help. And obviously, he's big enough to stand in the paint and get in the way.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty important in that matchup, I think. Then they play the Pelicans. I think they got this one. The Pelicans are they're not a good defensive team,
Yeah.
especially when their best players are playing. Like Derek Queen is not a good defender. Obviously, they've got to watch out for the ultimate Mickey Mouse March player in what's his name?
Sadiq Bey. I was about to
Who's
say
been cooking.
I was going to say bet Sadiq Bey's overs because he's going to probably drop 30 on us. Like, that's weirdly how Sadiq Bey's career has been. The guy could score. Like,
yeah, he's very up and down. Like,
Yeah.
it averages out to mediocre efficiency, but like when he's scoring really well, he is a problem for sure. Obviously, they're not a good team. Let's just take a look at their
well,
offensive rating. Yeah, defensive rating 26th out of 30.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst defensive teams in the entire league.
but DeJounte Murray is back and playing. Like, they've got all these guys who have talent. So, like, there's somebody that you shouldn't necessarily slept on, but like, you can't lose this game. Like,
It says they're not injured at all. So does that
Yeah.
mean Zion will play?
I don't
Zion
know.
has cooked the Raptors in the past. That's something that you got to watch out for because, I mean, the Toronto Raptors, the problem with them is they can't score, right?
Yeah.
They're really good defensively. So if Zion Williams can carve them up, that might be enough to push them over the top. So I don't think this is as much of a gimme game.
Maybe we get an Ingram 40-piece revenge on his old
True.
team.
Very true. I didn't even think about the revenge game potential, but
That's a fun aspect. I would think they should still have this one, but
we got to stop doubting their wherewithal against these crapola teams.
that's true. Yeah.
So we've got an L here. We've got a W here. The Phoenix Suns. That is an interesting one because they have been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Mhm.
Devin Booker has been out of the lineup.
Yep.
They have had some like Dylan Brooks is out of the lineup. Mark Williams is out 2 to 3 weeks. He was kind of their big pickup in the offseason. They were really struggling at the center position. He was like a huge breath of fresh air for them. But for what somehow they have been kind of chiseling out some wins thanks to like some really like under the radar pickups, like Colin Gillespie has been really good for them. Grayson Allen has like discovered like another gear, like somehow his like demonic magic. Like this guy is obviously evil.
Yeah.
And he's done something to because he's like averaging a career high in terms of assists.
Yeah.
He has been awesome for them. They've got some good role players. Royce O'Neal's a good role player. Jalen Green has been in and out of the lineup. I'm not sure if that helps them or hurts them. What do you say? Do you think they win this game?
I think they'll win this game. I'm pretty confident in these games because the Suns have started to play Malawach and Rasheer Fleming and stuff. So they're starting to play these rookies who are a bit away.
Yeah.
Right. So, which like they've shown some flashes and it's great. I'm glad that they're actually getting some run, but not concerned with Pirtle against Malawach. Like that's that's a whole other ball game for Malawach to play against. Right. So, pretty confident in that game, actually.
I think so.
Given
too.
their injuries and
like
stuff.
if Mark Williams was playing, that would be a competitive game because that guy is a beast on the inside and
he's
he gives
huge.
Scotty some trouble. But like even Malawach, like he's got the size, like the physical height, but his lower body strength is not there yet. So Scotty Barnes, Jakob Pirtle, those guys will just live in the paint and score over and over and over again. So I think they're going to win that one. They just have to watch out for the shooting.
Yeah.
Like Gillespie can shoot. Obviously, Jalen Green can get hot, if it's his night. Grayson Allen can shoot. So I think they've got that one, though.
Yeah.
And then, oh, my God, the Detroit Pistons. And that'll be on Sunday at 3:30. I think we're only going to cover 4 teams because there's only 4 teams between now and Monday.
Mhm.
So who do you got in that Detroit Pistons game? Are we going to get some copium here, or are you going to doom and gloom it?
I think it's an L if Cade plays, right? Because Cade has missed a few here and there, and maybe they'll just say, yeah, we don't need to play Cade right now because they have that 1 seed pretty well locked up. They might be looking past a couple teams as they are trying to, prepare for the right. So no Cade. I think they win that game. But Duran will be playing this one, and they got their ass kicked when Duran wasn't playing the game.
Yeah,
right?
I know that was disappointing for sure.
Yeah, like
we were
that's
just talking about how they were paper tigers. They beat us without like the second of the 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
but right. I am gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm gonna say they pick up.
Let's go
here. I think they go 3-1 over this stretch, but I'm totally willing to eat crow here as we always do. It seems like just Homer alert, just constantly getting, stepping on the rake. So yeah, that is the upcoming schedule. Let us know in the comments in chat what you think they're going to do over this 1 week stretch. Do you think they could go 4-0? Who knows?
That would be huge because all of a sudden now you're like knocking on Cleveland. Like you're like, hey, we're actually right behind you again, right? The famous thing that people have been doing this year where they're when they're right behind a team, they say on your left, and then 2 seconds later, you've lost 3 games in a row and you fall all the way down the standings. Somebody did that for us in Boston, and now look, Boston's 20 games over 500.
Yeah, that was tough. They started the season poorly too, but their metrics, like all of their advanced metrics, were like pointing like well into the green.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they're a real team, which is unfortunate.
I'm gonna get boat raced over that one tweet that I had because I know there's like 50 saves or something, like 50 bookmarks on it. Because I had said before the season, I was like, the Raptors are gonna finish over the Celtics because I expected they were gonna tank. I was like, they're just gonna tank and whatever, right? Nope.
Well, maybe they'll forget about it because like if it came down to the wire,
yeah,
it would be top of mind for them.
It's true.
So maybe you could skate on this one. I don't know. We'll just dip into this quickly because we've already kind of talked about it, and it is just like it is a story, but it's a very ephemeral story. It's going to go away. Like it's either going to be confirmed or denied. Pirtle may not be available for the Houston game. He's sick, but we could maybe use this to talk about just like he looks good. Like he has returned to form. Like he is looking actually like last year's Pirtle, which is crazy. That's a huge development for the Raptors.
Yeah.
That was like one of the things that could be, like a franchise changing thing that you gave all this money to this guy and he is just not the same.
We thought he was like dead. Like we're like, oh, this guy's never coming back. And now, I mean, like if you're still not set and you still want to move on from him, if he has if he has a decent playoffs, you might actually be able to move him without like a pick or something if you can prove he's healthy. So it's pretty awesome that he is back to form, back to health. Obviously, they're still, slow rolling it with not playing on the back-to-backs and stuff, which is the right way to go. But yeah, I mean, it's great because it gives the Raptors another look, and it's exactly when you've needed to rest Colin Murray Boyles with his thumb.
Exactly. Yeah.
So couldn't be better timing for that.
Well, and also he's a good guy. Like, he's obviously great in the dressing room, and a lot of people, the team likes him. He's a steadying force. He's obviously not like a vocal leader or anything like that. He's the quiet guy, but he is a vet and he does his job. That's the biggest thing is that like people did not watch the team last year, and I don't blame them. Like the Raps sucked. And so you got a lot of people on the timeline saying it's like, this guy sucks. He is garbage. And I'm like, did you? No. Like, and it was only doubled down because at the beginning of the season, he's playing hurt.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, this guy is garbage. And he's a role player. And yes, they probably paid him too much money. And yes, they probably shouldn't have traded for him in the first place. But that doesn't mean he's bad. So anyway, that's all I have to say about Pirtle. We've got an interesting story here. So we've kind of buried the lead. We've been talking about some other stuff. There's actually a really interesting story that is developing. And that is the Toronto Raptors picked up Markelle Fultz, the former number 2 overall pick. Let me just make sure, okay? Because he was the first overall pick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was wrong. I
yeah.
was wrong.
76ers traded for Boston first to get him.
I thought that they picked, I thought it was second, but yeah, he was insane in college.
Yeah.
People don't remember. This guy was nuts in college. He was such a dynamic player with the ball in his hands. He was a super athlete.
Yeah.
He could score. He could play make. He could do all sorts of stuff. Then when he got to the league, he literally has the yips.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and he had like a shoulder issue thing that was actually real eventually, but like people are all geeked out over Darren Peterson. It's like Fultz was better than Darren Peterson is, and people are like, oh, Darren Peterson is a franchise changer. That's what everybody expected out of Fultz. Now, does he have anything left in the tank at this point? As what is he, 27?
Well, I mean, like he might have just his confidence might be shattered, and like obviously this is like a long shot, and it's not. But the Raptors have an open roster spot, and they are looking to fill it, and he is one of the candidates. So let's take a look. Why don't you say something while I get this Grange article lined up here? Yeah,
well, he was like with the Magic recently, like in whatever his last season or two, like 2023, he's like 14 points per game. He was decent. He was actually, it was
on pretty poor efficiency, if I remember correctly.
Right.
He was let me see, Orlando. Yeah, he was shooting like 47% from the field and 22% from 3. So yeah, I mean, like he was an interesting player at that point. He was 24 at that time when he was with Orlando, scoring 14 points per game. And people are like, interesting. But he is like a guard, so he's not amazing on defense. And he was always more of a scorer than a distributor. So the fact that he wasn't a good scorer at the NBA level kind of hurt him really badly. But let's take a look at the Grange article here, because he mentions the Fultz pickup. So let's read here. Markelle Fultz made his G League debut with the Raptors 905 on Sunday afternoon, had 4 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers in 19 minutes in the win. I'm told that the number 1 pick in the 2017 draft was offered the opportunity with the 905 as an audition of sorts for the Raptors' 15th roster spot, which they will likely be looking to fill March 15th. No promises have been made, but it was only 3 years ago that the 27-year-old was an effective starting point guard with the Orlando Magic, averaging 14 points and 6 assists on 50% shooting. So kind of just like what we just said, he was an intriguing player at that point. The season afterwards, he kind of fell off, like he was just not effective anymore. I'm not expecting much, but like if you were to ask me, like there's one other guy that like another former Orlando Magic guard in Cole Anthony, who I'm not a fan of, like especially after seeing what he did in Milwaukee, which is nothing. Like I don't know, maybe Markelle Fultz is a better option at this point.
I mean, yeah, like the names that we heard was
George Niang,
Lonzo Ball, Cole Anthony, and Markelle Fultz. Like I think they're all on the same tier for me. It's like, and Markelle is a more fun story for me because I root for the guy, and he, he's still a good ball handler and stuff. Like he'd be an end of the bench guy anyway, right? But Shed has had his offensive struggles. He has been very inefficient in many ways. So like, honestly, I mean, I would still probably put Shed above him right now, but
yeah, for sure. But Shed is struggling. So it's not as much of a slam dunk as it used to be. I think the backup point guard role, like it seemed written in stone.
Yeah.
Maybe just a month ago, because he was balling at that point, but now he's kind of hit a swoon. And I'm not going to give up on the guy. Like, I think that, he's a sophomore. Guys have ups and downs in their careers. But it would be nice to have another guy to actually just kind of like consider at that spot, like maybe to see what he looks like with the team. But that's kind of an interesting tidbit. And like, I know that you'd have to, if Georges Niang joined the team, you'd have to walk back some of the stuff that you were saying about him and his trainer, because you had like a little spat going on with those guys.
I had a long-term beef with Niang's trainer because he was very critical of Scotty Barnes's trainer. And I was like, bro, you trained George Niang, who is not even in shape. Like, I don't know how you're critiquing somebody else who just at the time had just trained
like
a guy
YouTube video, didn't he? Saying like, and then this one is a fake exercise, and this one is a thing. I think that was like right before Scotty Barnes' All-Star season, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. In the third season.
Because I victory lapped the guy pretty hard about it, because I was like, what do you mean the guy hasn't grown and now he's an All-Star? So yeah, that was funny. Like, I mean, I don't even know what you do with Niang. I guess he can shoot a bit, but
he can shoot and he can talk smack.
Yeah.
The Paolo Banchero mid-range smack talk was an all-timer.
Yeah.
I think he got in his head a bit.
Yeah.
Like that actually like made it the rounds on social media. It's like, keep shooting that mid-range shot, see where it gets you.
Yeah.
Also, what did he say to he has some legendary smack talk moments against the guy who plays for the 76ers, the bench player there who like popped off and had like a really good season. Let me just quickly this is quality content right here. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Which year was this?
Quentin Grimes.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? Quentin Grimes like had that huge, because like there were all the injuries and stuff, and he goes, when Maxi's back, he's like, you're in the corner. When Embiid is back, you're in the corner. Like he was saying that to,
oh my gosh,
to Grimes, because I think they were talking crap to one another.
The minivan. He's got some chirps.
The minivan, they call him.
Yeah.
Maybe he also, that was the most frustrating thing ever against the 76ers. Georges Niang like lighting the Raptors up in that one playoff series that they played, and then in the next series he shot 21%. He shot 40% against the Raptors and then 21% in the next series. So the last roster spot. Oh, there was one more thing. Somebody in the comment section of one of my videos, apologies, I can't remember your name, had a theory about the 15th roster spot that I thought was actually kind of an interesting one. And, shout outs to this gentleman, I believe. He thought that this final roster spot could be being held open for an Ulrich Chomsche, who has been hanging around the Raptors 905 practice area, and I think is kind of being like mentored by the team. Like he's obviously not under contract with the Raptors or anything like that, but they obviously like this kid, and he was just not ready for prime time, and he had those, some health scares, and so there might be some smoke there. Could that final roster spot be being left open for Ulrich Chomsche? That's something to keep an eye out.
That would be my dream. Everybody, do you remember Summer League? Where
I love that
was
game.
Fantastic. And it was like, we might have something here. And like the Chomsche believers were eating good. And then just like a colloquial repetition of, why isn't he with the team? Oh, it's a weird health thing. Oh, he's cut from the team. Why? This doesn't make sense. Koloko made his way back. Great for him. He bounced around a little bit, but that stung for him to go somewhere else. I would hope that if that's what they're doing, and that would make a lot of sense, why they haven't filled that spot, if it's just being kept for Chomsche because they're not signing a big blah, blah, blah. That would make so much sense. And that would be probably the best story because I really like the kid and want him to get his shot.
Exactly. I mean, he could keep Trace Jackson Davis company on the bench. They could have a little friendship going on there. Okay. There's one more thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode, and that is the draft. The draft. I mean, we have been so out of it this season. That was pretty much the only thing that Raptors fans cared about at this point in last season. Like, who were the Toronto Raptors going to draft? And I was big on CMB. I liked him. He was one of my sleepers for the pick, so I was pretty excited when he eventually got selected. But this season, this is a good draft. So that is like, when you're looking at some of the prospects that are available or probably going to be available in the late teens, early 20s, like, this draft seems pretty deep. So who do you like around this area for the Toronto Raptors?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to actually fall to us, but Bennett Sturts, I really like Bennett Sturts. And it solves, like, I think right away, he's better offensively than Shed. It gives more guard depth. I'm a big fan of him. I don't know if he'll drop to us. I like some names like Cameron Carr.
Yeah,
there's some guys that I don't think will be there, like Darius Acuff and stuff, who are very, very intriguing, but I think they'll be gone. But I know you've spent some time digging into draft more than I have. So,
well, I did some, like, some of the guys, like, I just did one on Cameron Carr. And so why don't we just take a look? Like, I'll open up Tankathon.
Yeah.
Because they have a like a consistent mock draft board. And it's not always the best one, but it can give you a little bit of an idea of who is in the wheelhouse around where the Raptors are going to be picking. So, like, there are some guys that I think that they have rated too high, like, Braylon Mullins. I don't think that guy is that good. Bennett Sturts, it's interesting you brought him up, because I did some scouting on him, and I wasn't as high on him as some of the guy that's actually being that's rated lower than him, like by one spot, Christian Anderson. And if the Raptors were going to pick up a point guard, I actually kind of have him higher than Sturts. Yep. So the thing about Sturts, it's actually, like, his story is awesome. He actually was, like, he went to a mid-major school, like, I think even under a mid-major school, with his current coach on Iowa. And his coach kept getting promoted. So, like, he went from, like, this kind of nothing school to, like, a mid-major school. And then finally he spent 2 years, I think it was Northwestern University. And then finally he got the final promotion, and Sturts kept going with him, right? Because, they were kind of attached at the hip. And he is like a one-man army kind of with Iowa. Like, if you've looked at their team, like, one of the things here, if you look, and I was, like, trying to figure out, like, what's going on here, you can see that his assists are not that high. So his assists are low. And the reason that his assists are low is if you look at their roster, so Iowa's roster, he's the leading scorer at 20.2 points per game, and he plays, like, almost the entire game. The next leading scorer is averaging 10 points per game. So this is, like, he is a one-man army, and he is, like, they run all of their sets. Like, you can tell why he kept following this coach around, because he runs all of his sets around Sturts. And they have all of these intricate off-ball plays so that he can get the ball and then initiate the offense. And he is an interesting player in terms of like, being an on-ball player. And I think he has some off-ball juice too. Like, I think you can run him off screens and shoot the ball too. My issue with him is that he's, like, one of the older players in the draft. Like, he'll be 23 by the time the season rolls around. And when you watch him, like, he is very good at the college level because he has a very kind of complete offensive game. He can pull up, he can shoot, he can get into the lane, and he's crafty in the lane, and he can, like, create a shot or get to the basket and that kind of stuff. I just don't see the upside. Like, I am a little lower on what he could become. Yeah. At the next level. Like, I'm seeing this guy as, like, a backup. And I think his floor is undetermined right now, but I think his upside is a little bit limited. But he does have good size, like 6'4", 190 pounds. That's pretty good. He's solid. Like, he's not like a little guy. Yeah. Like, he could probably play a bunch of minutes for you, but I'm just not seeing the upside with him. The guy I really like was who I just said, Christian Anderson. Christian Anderson's 20 years old. He's a sophomore. He didn't really play in his first season, but the guy is like he can bang shots.
Mm-hmm.
And he is playing like he's a really good pick and roll player. He's playing with what's his name? JT Toppin, like McDonald's All-American, like he's a really good college player. And so like a lot of his assists are kind of inflated probably just because he's playing with like a super duper pick and roll roll man. But like the guy has the kind of the juice shooting the ball and coming off the screen and shooting that I think would really translate. Like I really like his game. And I think that he could be like he has a starter potential. I think, and also I think his upside is there too. He's only 20 years old. He's like one of the best scorers in college basketball, one of the best shooters in college basketball, really comfortable running the pick and roll. Like he looks very natural with the ball in his hands, executing the pick and roll. I'm really high on this guy. I think he's like really underrated right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like him. Cameron Carr, I just did a video on. I like him quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can,
Yeah. Like I haven't gotten as deep into that, but I've Christian Anderson, a name I've heard a lot, and I would agree. I guess like what my thinking of with Sturts in the kind of first place is where the team is at and where like, because I agree a lot less upside and everything, but I was somebody who was high on Jalen Tyson a couple years ago. And I was like, I know he's a bit older and I know that the ceiling is not quite there, but he could be a valuable player. And now he is starting a lot of times and he's awesome. Yeah. They're not like a 1-for-1 comparison, but Raptors would really benefit from a player like that. But also I really like the idea of getting a guy that can be your future starting point guard because, quickly can be fantastic, but you do want somebody who is the next guy and with a higher ceiling, right? So I really like that. Cameron Carr, another Baylor guard, right?
Another Baylor guard. I mean, they just kind of knocked one out of the park with VJ Edgecombe. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously we've got Jacoby Walter on our team. So like there's obviously a Baylor connection there too. I like this guy. I think he's got potential. I've looked at pretty much like, they've got two guys in this similar draft spot. I like Cameron Carr because I think that his upside offensively is high. He is just a really good shooter. Mm-hmm. He can generate his own shot. He can get it off quickly. He is, very explosive athlete. The unfortunate thing is that I think his defense isn't very good. Like, as you can see here, his defensive rating's pretty poor. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Brandon Ingram a bit in that regard, because he's really good at blocking shots, but his foot speed defensively, as I went into, it's like pretty poor. Like,
right.
Brandon Ingram has kind of slower foot speed, especially for a wing. It's kind of similar there, but I think that like he's scalable in terms of his usage. Like you can feature him a little bit as a catch and shoot guy. Like he doesn't have to be on the ball. In fact, he's not an on ball player with Baylor most of the time. But I think that he has the upside of where maybe if things like work out really well for him, he could become like a 3-level scorer, like a top-notch 3-level scorer. Like I think he has that kind of potential. And it's kind of surprising to me. Like I'm seeing some of the names that are being like thrown out over top of him, like being 28th in the draft, despite the fact that he's like a really good athlete who's a really good shooter with like NBA level 3-point range is kind of crazy to me. Like, I don't know how reliable the Tankathon, I don't know who their scout is, honestly, but that was kind of interesting to me. And then I did one on a Daimara. I also think he's a little underrated right now, even though he can't shoot the ball or anything like that. But especially if you're looking for a center prospect, I think that he could be somebody that the Raptors could look at. So
yeah, what would you like to go for? Are you thinking point guard? Or are you thinking big? or just best
I
player
don't.
available.
Yeah, I always go best player available.
Mhm.
Everybody gets on me for that. Like there's so many people in the comments of the videos that I do where they talk about like the Raptors need this, the Raptors need a player here, and I just like I get it. I understand. There is a little bit like you can't completely ignore position. So I'll
Mhm.
just give you my philosophy right now in terms of team building. Team building, I don't know if I said this on the podcast or I don't want to repeat myself, but I'll just say it anyway. I said like drafting is a lot like mining. Did I say this one? Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, go on.
Okay, so the idea is to not miss. Okay, you want to strike gold. Okay, it doesn't matter, or like you want to strike ore. Like maybe you really need silver. Okay, but if you strike gold or platinum or something else, you're not going to feel too bad, right? If you just dig into the ground, there's nothing there, you're going to feel pissed. Even though if your indicator is saying like there's silver here, there's not always going to be silver in the area. You might, geologists might tell you like, oh, this is a really good area to get silver or whatever. This is very stretching the metaphor here, but all you want to do is get something. You want to get value, okay, in the draft. Whereas the free agency and trades, that's like a marketplace, right? You can go out and shop and get things that you need for your team because you have the details available. You know what you're going to get generally from the players that you're picking up. You're going to say, well, I need shooting. Okay, well, let's make a trade. We'll get this guy. He's been a good shooter for the past 5 years, right? Because you know kind of what you can get. Same with free agency. You pick up a guy, maybe you have to pay a little bit more, but you know that you're going to be getting a guy who can get rebounds because you need rebounds, blah, 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 blah. So in the draft, you try and get the value. So this guy is can't miss prospect. Go and get this guy. And then you address the team's needs outside of that. So what I would say to people who are thinking about the draft, just find a guy that you think is going to be an NBA player. Find a guy who you think has the most translatable skills, passes the eye test. That's a big thing. People think that it's all about stats and like, is this guy have this and this and this? When you watch the game, is there something there? Can you, like, I remember like a long, long time ago when I wasn't so into basketball, I remember watching, what's his name? Played for Utah, went to Boston, blew out his knee, never was the same player, like a long time ago. Oh my God, this is just, I hate this.
White guy. White guy. Gordon Hayward. Yeah.
I remember watching him in college. I can't remember exactly where he went, but like, I remember like I was watching him on a TV and I was like, wait a second, this guy looks awesome. Like he can handle the ball. He's tall. He can shoot. He can do everything. And then I looked like where he was slated to be drafted and it was like way down in the 20s. I'm like, what? This guy's going to be good. I thought like something popped on the screen and I was like, this guy looks like a good player. And lo and behold, like before he blew his knee out, he was an all-star and all that kind of stuff. So it comes down to watching games and just trying to figure out who's going to be a star, who looks like the next guy. Is this guy going to be a role player? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is this guy have a high ceiling or does this guy have a high floor? All of that kind of stuff. Just try and pick the best player available. Try and figure out who is the best player and then draft that player. A lot of people would have said, like, we have Scotty Barnes. A lot of people are saying that. In fact, I think we've been interacting with somebody who said, I can't believe that we went out and got CMB when we already have Scotty Barnes. And in a vacuum, like, he's right. Scotty Barnes and CMB are pretty similar players.
Yeah.
They both aren't very good shooters. I mean, maybe CMB will become a good shooter or like maybe his 3-point percentage is okay. They both kind of play the same position. They're power forwards that, play a little bit bigger than their size. It doesn't make sense from a team building standpoint to pick this guy. But when you watch him play, you're like, this guy's got the goods. This guy is good. He is a good player. I think the fit that matters is if they fit your system.
Like
True.
less
That's another
about fit with the
consideration.
other players, because players will come and go. Like you like say you're like, oh, I don't want to draft this point guard because we have Emmanuel Quickly or something, right? It's like, okay, but this point guard could be better than Quickly. Like you would really kick yourself, because there are several teams who have done that where they go, oh, Tyrese Halliburton, that's not a player for me. I have a point guard, right?
Trey Young.
Yeah.
So they take what's his name?
You talking about Bagley?
No.
Oh,
They took their starting center, their current center, who's actually pretty good, but he's obviously not Tyrese Halliburton. Undersized guy, African last name.
Oh, Onyeka Okongwu?
Yeah, Onyeka Okongwu. So they picked him over Tyrese Halliburton, and probably not a good idea considering Trey Young is no longer with their team, right?
Yeah.
So
like players come, go, whatever. But if you look how like Boston drafts, they draft these players that will fit their system and play the way they want to play, and it works out for them. Like 9 times out of 10, it works out for them. So I'm totally okay with the Raptors continuing to do that, because they do seem to care about doing that. But I do think that there's a time, like maybe in the second round, where you should consider fit for certain things, where you're like, we still don't have a 7-footer. Let's get one, instead of tripling down on that kind of two-way wing guy of getting Elijah Martin. But he impressed them with a workout, eye test. They liked them, right? They thought this guy can be a guy. Cool. That's okay. I understand the reasoning behind it. But yeah, like fit. If the players are on the exact same tier.
I don't want to say fit does not matter.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that. I think that fit does matter. It matters so much less than in the other ways that you can pick up talent. Like you don't want to go and get in a trade and get a guy who doesn't fit your team. That doesn't make any sense. You want to get guys who fit your team because you have more control over it. You have more control over how good a player is when you trade for them, because there is you can look at their track record. There's actually a sample size where you can say, oh yes, this player can actually play in the NBA. When it comes to the draft, there is no sample size.
Yeah.
You have no clue. Like you have a clue. Like you can draft, like you can scout the player and have a good idea of whether they're going to make it. Like Wemby obviously was going to make it in the league, but a lot of the time it's a gamble. You don't know how well a player is going to translate to the league. And of course fit matters there, but not as much as talent. You have to be looking for talent in the draft, in my opinion. So
yeah, totally agree.
Okay. I think that the Toronto Raptors, I want to say that they've surprised me, but they haven't. They've been very, very consistent. But I hope they do surprise me. I hope this coming schedule, I think I picked them to go 3-1. I think you did as well. Maybe with a different.
I think I ddid 2-2.
2-2. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the optimist. You're the, I don't want to say pessimist. You're the realist. There we go. And we'll have to see. We'll have to look and see if the Toronto Raptors are able to surprise some of us and get those wins that they need against those top tier teams. But in any case, thank you guys for listening to the show. If you're watching live, really appreciated you guys hanging out with us. If you're watching after, just make this a habit. Listen to the podcast every Tuesday, unless there's a game the night of, in which case we push it back a day. But we really like doing this, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, guys.